Good evening, I'm Daniel Gibson. First tonight, the fallout from the New South Wales election. Labor's Michael Daly has stepped aside as party leader, and it came just an hour after Gladys Berejiklian claimed the majority government.
Under pressure, Michael Daly resisting the inevitable.
Will you be resigning?
Can you step back, please?
Not at all.
Hours later, resistance was futile. Sean Berry, 7 News.
Now to the fresh investigation into the mystery disappearance of a little boy. An inquest has been told the 3-year-old wasn't a wanderer. So almost 5 years on, the question remains, where's William?
Tracing the final known steps of William Tyrrell.
Where is he? Where's he gone?
The most important being, where's William?
And reporter Ashley Hansen joins us now from Sydney. Ash, how long is the inquest expected to run for?
Daniel, the inquest will continue here at the Coroner's Court in Lidcombe for the rest of the week, with witnesses giving evidence including William's foster father, his biological parents and investigating officers. It's then that we're expected to hear from the people police have labelled persons of interest in the disappearance of William Tyrrell. Daniel.
OK, thanks Ashley. A man has been bitten by a shark in Queensland. He was swimming when he was mauled at Lion Reef in the Whitsundays. He suffered a deep bite to his thigh and has been flown by air ambulance to hospital. It's understood he's now in a stable condition. Paramedics confirmed his injury was a shark bite, and there were 3 incidents involving sharks in the Whitsundays last year. Well, speculation's growing. The federal election will be called next week, with both leaders shifting focus to familiar ground, and that's healthcare.
They know they'll be next to face off at the polls, and they're working on their bedside manner, both preparing to splash the cash in the dash for votes. Mark Riley, 7 News.
Now to a special report on how welfare fraud is costing us billions. From cheats assuming the identity of dead people to those claiming Medicare payments on behalf of strangers. Some have netted hundreds of thousands of dollars.
6 times a week, welfare cheats are convicted in our courts, this time in Perth. Brian Seymour, 7 News.
A beloved pet dog named Benji has saved the day, rescuing its owner from their burning home. A disability meant Neil Dalton didn't hear the fire alarm, but he did hear Benji barking and scratching at the door downstairs.
Benji's my hero, and I got out of the fire just in time. And
an Aussie model is facing 21 years in a US jail over a drunken attack on board a United Airlines flight. Air marshals say the Victorian woman kicked one of their staff in the chest and slapped a steward in the face when she was refused alcohol service back in January. 24-year-old's been found guilty of assaulting the flight attendant, but was acquitted of attacking the air marshal. Staying in the US, and the long-awaited report from Robert Mueller has apparently cleared President Donald Trump's campaign team of colluding with Russia in the 2016 election. But despite Trump's tweets declaring victory, the report hasn't completely exonerated him on all fronts.
The president came out swinging.
It's complete exoneration, no collusion, no obstruction. Thank you very much.
And they now want Mueller's full report released as soon as possible. In Washington, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
The British PM is fighting for political survival tonight. We'll have the details next in Prime7 News for you. Also, traumatised passengers relive their cruise from hell. And later, finding hope, the story of a soldier discovered 100 years after he fell in the battlefield.
This finance report brought to you by GIO Platinum Car Insurance.
Well, the Australian stock market has recorded its worst session in 12 weeks. A share slump for the big 4 banks and major miners, and the energy sector weighed on the market heavily. One Australian dollar, though, it'll currently buy is 70.82 US cents. Returning overseas, and British PM Theresa May is facing the toughest week of her leadership so far. Overnight, she survived closed-door meetings with cabinet ministers over Brexit, but many predict she won't last the week.
Sticking to her routine in an extraordinary week, Theresa May arrived at church with her husband to a barrage of cameras.
One tough leader. Well, a crippled cruise liner has limped into a Norwegian port after more than half its passengers had to be flown to safety. The Viking Sky lost power in stormy conditions, turning a luxury cruise into a survival at sea.
A rescue as daring as it is complex. A Above the ICC off Norway, a helicopter lowers a crewman to the stranded cruise ship Viking Sky.
10 days now since the tragedy that shocked the world, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has announced a royal commission into the Christchurch terror attack, which claimed the lives of 50 people across 2 mosques.
There will be a focus on whether our intelligence community was concentrating its resources appropriately and whether there were any reports that could or should have been alerted them to this attack.
Well, the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall have become the first British royals to visit Cuba. The couple arrive as the US intensifies plans to isolate the island nation and as much of the world is denouncing Cuba's role in the unfolding chaos in neighbouring Venezuela. The trip is part of a 12-day Caribbean tour for Charles and Camilla. Well, sports on the way, including the latest in rugby league and Nick Kyrgios, and also ride-sharing gone wrong. The motorbike blow-up that has to be seen to be believed. That's next. After suffering a second knee injury at Manly's Brookvale Oval, new rooster Brett Morris isn't keen to play there again. The NRL's ordered an independent review of the surface.
Brett Morris is seething after being told he'll miss 2 matches after falling awkwardly again at Brookvale.
Cricket now, and Australia's World Cup bowling stocks have been dealt a blow with paceman Jai Richardson in severe doubt. A personal best though, 153 from Aaron Finch helped Australia claim an emphatic 8-wicket win over Pakistan in the second one-dayer. In tennis, Aussie Nick Kyrgios has once again caused a stir at the Miami Open with a bizarre mid-match sledging battle with, no, not the player, a spectator.
Why are you watching me on a Sunday night? You got nothing else to do on a Sunday night?
And there was an extraordinary case of road rage in Costa Rica's National Motorbike Championships after colliding down the straight. One rider somehow ended up on the back of his rival's bike. They then came to blows. They'll have plenty of time to cool down though after they each received a 2-year suspension. Here's a top tip. Don't punch anyone, but don't ever try to do it with a helmet on. We'll have weather next, including your latest on Tropical Cyclone Veronica and the fallen digger found 100 years on in the family who never gave up hope. The full extent of Cyclone Veronica's damage is becoming apparent in Western Australia's north. The red alert has been lifted and people are now allowed to leave their homes. But the danger is far from over. Locals now bracing for dangerous flooding. With the latest on our weather, we're joined once again by Elly Wicks. What's in store for us this week, Elly?
Oh, we've got some very cool temperatures heading our way. If not, some have already cooled down. And just like we've seen, Tropical Cyclone Veronica has been extremely destructive and is currently lying very close to the WA coast near Port Hedland. Meanwhile, ex-tropical cyclone Trevor has significantly weakened and is now located well inland near the Northern Territory and Queensland border, with a rain band extending into Western Queensland and northeast New South Wales. Overall, the rainfall has decreased, as we can see, somewhat from last week, with Trevor moving east more than south. But we can expect showers and storms mostly Thursday, even Friday as well for some. If we have a look at our forecast for tomorrow, showers are easing. We should have plenty of sunshine for most of us, but pretty cool, as we can see. Orange just 6 before increasing to a top of only 17 tomorrow. That cold front is affecting most of our southern areas in the country, as we can see. Melbourne only looking to reach a top of 18 tomorrow.
Good on you, Elly. Thanks once again for that. Well, finally tonight, on the story of an Aussie digger, Private Edward Hope. He died on the front line of the Battle of Fromelles during World War I. True to their name, his relatives never gave up hope. And after more than 100 years, they can finally honour their fallen hero.
Sue and Lindsay Hope, Hope by name and nature. They used the power of research to help uncover a digger missing for over 100 years. Chris Reason, 7 News.
Just goes to show, doesn't it? You should never give up. That's your news for this Monday, the 25th of March. Thanks so much again for your company. I'm Daniel Gibson. It's great to be back. Stay with Prime7 for news and weather updates throughout the evening. And of course, Michael Usher will bring you the latest from 10:20 p.m. tonight. Till I see you again, have a great night. Bye for now.